Hi, Jenny here, and I wanted to make a video about why Abbott Elementary is currently my favorite TV show. So, this first season started airing on ABC, Hulu, whatever it is in America, on December 7th. And the show follows in a mockumentary style the lives of teachers in Philadelphia at Abbott Elementary School. The show was a huge success from the beginning. It got renewed for a full second season quite quickly. And Abbott Elementary is created, written, stars Quinta Brunson, and obviously other people, but it's Quinta's show. It's Quinta's baby, I think. What makes Abbott Elementary so great? I think short summary would be that it's a comforting comedy with very sharp and clever comedy, but discusses real issues that the teachers in the US face. But let's dive more deep into why Abbott Elementary is so great and why I love it so much. So it's clear that Quinta knows what it's like to be a teacher. Her mother is a teacher or was a teacher. And this comes very clearly to me because I have worked at an elementary school. So while it's very different to be an elementary school teacher in the US compared to Finland, there are clear similarities that I've seen since yep, that happened to me, but also clear differences also. And it's interesting to learn about the lives of teachers through this comedy series, and it's just very cleverly done. It's cleverly done so that even when they are discussing the challenges that teachers face, such as budgeting, it's never done in a feel sorry for us, pity us. It's in a yeah, this is the reality of being a teacher and this is how we kind of try to navigate through it. Sometimes we can't, sometimes we do great. And I think it's great that there's this kind of yeah, it's tough, but at the same time these characters want to be teachers. They have a calling in it and enjoying the regular life of being a teacher and enjoying the work. I think that's a really great message to have. I know from experience that teaching is hard work and it's not great always, but in this show there are frustrating moments for the teachers, but overall message is that they're teaching it because they care about the kids and they want to teach them well. I also like that even though there's comedy, it's never really mean. It's more about being smart and clever rather than poking out the flaws of characters in a way that you're a bad person because you have these flaws. It's never that. It's always yeah, this person is flawed, and it's sometimes kind of funny, but this is how they grow as a person. This is how the others help them grow. And I like that there are no empty characters. Every character is there for a reason. Every character has a purpose and there are no empty characters. Sure, there's a lot of teachers, staff characters, but I want to kind of focus on the main ones. And let's start with the new teachers, so teachers who have been teaching for a year or so. First up, we have the main character, Janine Teagues, who is played by Quinta. Janine is this kind of very excited to teach, happy to be a teacher. It's the best job in the world for her. She's quite idealistic, a bit naive at times, but she wholeheartedly loves her job and finds so much joy in it, and she doesn't want to do anything else. And I think that's a really important character to have because I feel like there is this kind of notion that people are teachers because they can't do their dream jobs, and I think that that's valid and important, but it's just nice to see a teacher character who loves being a teacher. Even though there are times when Janine's naivety and lack of experience kind of gets in the way of efficiency and so on, it's still sweet and she's a very sweet character and she always wants to do the best for the students, even though at times maybe it's not. And she has a lot to learn and grow as a teacher, which is exciting to see. There is a hint of Janine not having the greatest relationship with her mother but it's not discussed too deeply yet in season 1. Another new teacher who has been teaching for a year is Jacob Hill, who is played by Chris Perfetti. And he's this kind of social justice warrior, white man who really wants to be an ally. He's never like, he is over the top, but not in a mean way. And there are often times when Janine has to be like, okay, don't do that, or other teachers have to be like, okay, don't say that. But it's never from like a place of superiority. This character is very sweet, very kind, maybe to a point of being overtly so, but it's never too much in my opinion. He's very sweet, and I don't know, it kind of gives a different type of masculinity represented in comedy, which I think is very fun. Janine and Jacob are quite close to each other since they started at the same time, and I wish we get to see more of that friendship in season 2. I like that character. And I also like that many of Jacob's plot lines are about when you are a new teacher and haven't really found your authority within the students yet, something that I'm very familiar with. So to have this kind of journey of like, yes, he is a good teacher, but he hasn't found his authority yet. I think that's very interesting to see. Then the newest addition to the new teacher is Gregory Eddy, played by Tyler James Williams. He starts out as a substitute teacher in the 1st grade. He's quite serious, deadpan, sarcastic. He doesn't like other people being in his business, but the show kind of delves into like, okay, but he needs the help from other teachers to become the best teacher that he wants to be. He has been educated to become a principal, but when he had interviewed for a principal job at the Abbott Elementary, he didn't get it. I really like having this type of serious, no-nonsense character who really has funny moments and sarcastic moments. And you can see how he becomes softer throughout the season, especially through the guidance of Mrs. Howard and Melissa. There's a little bit of something going on between Janine and Gregory as well. I like this kind of masculinity being represented as well, like a teacher who is no nonsense, serious, but still there's a soft side to him as well. Love them. Then there are 2 teachers who have been teaching for a really long time, have a lot of experience, have seen a lot of things. The first one is Barbara Howard, played by the Sheryl Lee Ralph, the original Dream Girl. Barbara, I love Barbara. She has this poise, she has this seriousness, she has this elegance, but that doesn't mean she's not fun. Barbara has a way of like having fun and being entertaining the kids, but she also has funny moments about like being a teacher who has been teaching for a long time and not being able to keep up with the new technology. And she has this kind of mother figure, authoritative figure relationship with Janine, which I think is a really wonderful relationship to have. Is Janine a bit of a fangirl of Barbara? Yes, but like understandably so. Me too. Yeah, I really love this kind of authoritative character. Then the other teacher with a long career is Melissa Shemetti, played by Lisa Ann Walzer. And she has an edge to herself. She takes no shit. She takes her job seriously, but can have fun with it. I like to have this kind of edgy character who is not afraid of going through unconventional ways to make sure that her students get the best education they deserve. And yeah, this is a really fun character. In addition to teachers, we have some staff characters. So we have the principal, Ava Coleman, played by Janelle James, who is so funny, so hilarious, but she does not know how to be a principal. She is quite unconventional. She is a bit selfish, sorry, but she is. But she's very entertaining, very funny, and she does care about the school. She does care about the teachers and the kids, but she just has a funny way of showing it. And it's interesting to see how that develops in the future. Then there is janitor Mr. Johnson, who is played by William Stanford Davis. In the first season, the janitor is mostly like funny one-liners, funny subplots, and he has a very great way of delivering those funny one-liners. There is also this kind of fatherly figure, guiding figure presence of Mr. Johnson to Gregory, which I think is a great parallel between Janine and Barbara versus Mr. Johnson and Gregory. So while he is mostly there to be funny and like making joy out of his janitor job, he also has moments where he shares his wisdom about life, which I think is amazing. He was a minor character in season 1, but apparently he is one of the main characters in season 2, so I'm really excited for that. Now that I've discussed all of the characters, I want to share some of my favorite moments from season 1. I think the episode where a kid is acting out, and instead of just giving up on her and just thinking, well, she's a difficult kid, what can we do? They actually find the root reason for why this kid is acting out, what's happening in her life, and then they figure out why, and they accustom her surroundings so that she can be a more active and present student, which I think is such a great episode, because acting out to the extent of bothering others, there's always another reason instead of just for the sake of it, as what I've seen in my studies and working experience. So I thought that was a very real episode. What I thought was interesting from the Finnish perspective was when Janine shares that she has a wish list of items that she needs in her classroom. I don't know. It's really sad to me that teachers in the States have to do that in order to give the best education to the kids, to kind of rely on other people to give it rather than authorities, because it would never cross my mind as a teacher to make a wish list for things that I need, like pencils, notebooks, and so on. It's an interesting look into the US education system and teachers' jobs. I also liked every Janine Barbara interaction, because sometimes Janine goes a bit over and it's like, Janine, what are you, don't do this. At the same time, there is real wisdom that Barbara shares with Janine, which I think is really great, and Janine helps out Barbara also. I just genuinely love this cast of characters so much, and I love the dynamics between them. I love when Jacob and Barbara start a garden, and then Gregory, who has landscaping background, is like, they're killing the plants, and then secretly helps them out. I love the characters and their dynamics so much, and Ava has the funniest jokes, and it's clear that Sheryl Lee Ralph winning the Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy, and Quinta Brunson winning Best Comedy Writing Emmys, like, well deserved. They totally deserved it. I feel like they deserved more Emmys. I think they won a third one, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, they deserve all the awards. The one thing that I didn't really like this season, and I really hope it doesn't go back in season 2, the principal Ava flirts with Gregory a lot, and it's clear that it makes Gregory uncomfortable. This is a trope that's common in comedy series. Another one that comes in mind is in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Gina flirting with Terry, even though it makes Terry uncomfortable. I never like it. I think it's inappropriate, and I really hope it doesn't continue in season 2. Which, speaking of, what do I want to see in season 2? I want them to delve more into the characters and how they are as humans and how they are in the free time. Obviously, it's a workplace comedy, so it's gonna focus on the workplace, but I would like to see them outside of the workplace too, and I want to see their friendships deepen. It would be fun to have like a throwback to how Barbara and Melissa started out as teachers and how they were as young teachers versus how they are now as more experienced teachers. That would be so fun. I would like to learn more about Janine's mother and like what's the roots of that relationship and why it is the way it is. And I would also like to see more of classroom action, teaching action, even more so than this season. And it's really exciting that it's 22 episodes, so it's a full season, so there is time to delve into relationships and plot lines and everything. Also, of course, I want to see where Gregory and Janine go in season 2. I also want to learn more about the American school system. Of course, I know surface level, but I liked how it was incorporated, the American school system, into the show, and how it differs from my perspective being in Finland. And I would like to see more of that, not necessarily just the hard parts of it like budgeting, but just overall interest in American school system. It would be nice to see in this show. So yeah, this was my love letter to Abbott Elementary. If you have seen the show and enjoyed it, please let me know. I want to hear your thoughts on the show and what you expect for season 2. Season 2 is coming out on 21st of September, so soon. So by the time that this video comes out, the season 2 has already begun, so yay. And thanks for watching, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!